All right. Today we're diving into something really fascinating, a look at numerical patterns within the Quran. It's this incredible puzzle that some people believe connects math, symbolism, and the sacred text in a way you might not expect. So, here's the big question we're tackling today. Is it possible that just one single number could be a key, one that unlocks a whole hidden layer of structure and meaning inside the Quran? And this is where it all starts, with this number, 15,873. I know, it looks totally random, right? But according to this one interpretation, this number holds a really unique, multi-layered connection to the text. Okay, so what's so special about this number? To figure that out, we've got to kind of pop the hood and see what it's made of. We're going to break it down to find the clues hidden inside. The first thing we're going to do is something called prime factorization. Now, you can think of it like finding a number's DNA, right? The basic, fundamental building blocks that make it what it is. This is going to be our first big clue. And when you do that, boom, you get 3 times 7 times 757. Now, for anyone looking into these kinds of patterns, two of those numbers just jump right off the page, 3 and 7. Both are seen as really significant in Islamic tradition. Okay, so let's dig into that first clue, the number 7. Why is it such a big deal in the first place? You see, the number 7 is woven all through Islamic tradition. The most famous example by far is that the opening chapter of the Quran, Al-Fatiha, has exactly 7 verses. And that's not just a random count. It's seen as a symbol of the spiritual completeness that this incredibly important chapter represents. All right, so that's the number 7. Now, what about that other key factor we found, the number 3? What's its story? Well, in a ton of different traditions, and this goes way beyond just Islam, 3 is often seen as the number of harmony, of balance, and of equilibrium. It gives you a sense of wholeness, of stability. And here's where it gets really cool. The folks who study this stuff point to the Pythagorean triple, 3, 4, 5, as this perfect example of mathematical harmony. The idea is that the 3 in our number is meant to echo that, to symbolize the spiritual balance found inside the Quran itself. Okay, so we've got 3 and 7, harmony and unity. That's great, but it doesn't really point us anywhere specific in the book, does it? It's all symbolic. So what if we've been looking at it all wrong? What if the real secret isn't in what makes the number, but in the digits of the number itself? And this is where we get to the final piece of the puzzle. We're going to completely change how we're looking at this. So forget multiplication for a second. Let's just look at the digits, in order. So, instead of seeing 15,873, what if you split it up? Look at it like this, 15, 87, and 3. According to this theory, that's not just a coincidence. And this, right here, is the big reveal. The interpretation is that this number is basically a set of coordinates. The 15 points you to Surah 15, and the 87, well, that points you to verse 87 of that exact same surah. It's like a map, hidden in plain sight. So, you see how all the pieces are supposed to fit together now? The factors, 3 and 7, they kind of set the stage with these big ideas of harmony and unity. But then the digits themselves, 15 and 87, they're the X that marks the spot, pointing to one specific place in the text. So now that we see the whole picture, what's the point? I mean, why even go down this rabbit hole of numbers? What does it all mean in the grand scheme of things? And this is super important. Even the sources that explore this idea are really quick to say, hey, let's remember what the Quran is really about. It's about spiritual and moral guidance. These number patterns, they're seen as a really cool way to appreciate the book's amazing structure, but they are not the main event. And this whole idea of an intricate design, it actually fits with what scholars have said for centuries about the Quran's cohesion. Everything, the themes, the repeating structures, the language, it all works together. So for some people, these numerical patterns are just another amazing layer of that incredible unity. Which really leaves us with a great question to think about, not just for this text, but for any deep work we might explore. How do you find that balance between appreciating the beautiful, complex patterns you might find, without ever losing sight of the profound, core message that it's all there to deliver?